What's up, YouTube? It's Craig here. I am in Moab, Utah, and I'm about to go down the Shafer Trail, down the switchbacks, out Potash Road, and back into Moab. This is how you start out here in Canyonlands National Park, and I'm doing it today in my Toyota Tacoma. All right, let's go. All right, so I'm just starting off here on the Shafer switchbacks. And yeah, you're right on the edge of the road here. You can see the road down there at the very bottom. And that's where I will be. Visitor Center, right up over that hill. Start to see, well, there's a tree in the way, but you can start to see where the switchbacks, they start headed down into the canyon over there. All right, so I'm about to head down the switchback section now, and I don't know, we'll see how tight it is. Definitely not driving my Jeep. This thing takes a little bit more to turn, but I have a feeling it's gonna work out. And views all around, 360s. Just to point out, on these steeper sections here, I did put it into 4 low, and I had it in first gear right at the beginning in the very, very steep sections. As it did kind of, you know, level out slightly, just bumped it up into second. So you could definitely do it without low range, but it does help so you don't have to keep riding the brakes all the way down this. So this is a 1,500-foot descent down the Shafer Trail, and there are some spots, mostly towards the top, that are sort of wide, but as you get down into this part of it here, it is much more narrow, so you definitely need to make sure you're okay with shelf roads, but the views are worth it. All right, so that gets me down the switchbacks, so down into the canyon now. Still got some road up ahead here, but yeah, that was fun. I'm glad I did this. If you're in the area, definitely worth checking it out. And you can still at the very top there see where that kind of that lookout is by the visitor center there. All right, so right here coming up on the turn, where if you keep going, you're on the White Rim Trail, you need a permit, but I'm not. I'm headed out on Potash Road, so that'll be the turn right here. And there's the river. Potash Road did have a few of these sections here and there that were a little bit more bumpier than some of the other part of the trail. Alright, so that does it for my Shafer switchbacks, Potash Trail, Potash Road. Pretty good time. I say it took about 2.5 hours. I kind of fiddle around with cameras and stuff. Ran into no traffic on the Shafer part. Potash Road, you know, it's getting later in the day. There was a lot of people coming in. But yeah, wide range of vehicles, Jeeps, stock SUVs. It's not a super difficult trail or anything, but it's definitely bumpy, rocky. So yeah, just got to watch where you're driving. Something else I'll point out, because sometimes people ask me, I did air down. I aired down to 18. There's no issues with traction on this trail, but it is nice to just kind of smooth things out for sure. All right, here I am. I came to Milt's for lunch. Get me a burger.